If you're ever feeling really bad about yourself, just remember that one time I went on a date with a guy that I worked at a gym with, and he wanted to go to a concert, and he didn't buy the tickets yet for some reason, and he asked me if I could buy them, so I bought my ticket and his ticket, and then he asked me if I wanted to come to his apartment before the concert to do a little pregame, and I agreed, so then I drove to his apartment, and then after the pregame, he asked me if I could get an Uber to the concert, so then I bought and got us an Uber to the concert. And then once we got to the concert, he was like, do you want a drink? I want a drink. And I was like, yes, I'd love a drink. And he was like, well, are you going to give me money for your drink? Because I'm not going to feed you drinks all night. Then after the concert, he was like, well, do you want to get an Uber home? So then I paid for an Uber home to his apartment. And then instead of getting in my car and going home like I should have, I stayed at his apartment.
Yeah, so basically you're describing what every guy does on a regular basis. We don't feel sorry for you. In fact, I think it's hilarious that you're even trying to pretend as if somehow you were violated through this whole scenario. So according to the caption on this video, this guy and this woman went on like 2 dates, and now she's mad that he doesn't want to pay for all her baby's stuff.
You can't pay for this stuff. That's what you're telling me? Is that what you're telling me? See, that's how these guys do, baby. They take you out on dates and don't want to pay for your stuff. And then he know I got a 1-year-old baby. You don't even want to buy my baby clothes.
Of course you don't want to buy your baby's clothes. What is this?
That's how guys do nowadays. They just date you.
Yeah, they date you. They don't suddenly become your baby's dad on date 3.
$472. Okay, are you going to be paying today? How are you paying? Yeah, this how it is. Guys be wearing the hottest shoes. Thank you. $200 and $300 worth of shoes and don't even want to pay for the stuff I had to pay for, yeah, because I've been dating this guy for about maybe 2 to 3 days. And baby, this how they do. This
is how they do, yeah. Refuse to pay for your baby's clothes after 2 or 3 days of knowing each other.
Look at him.
This guy, he was so low vibration. He wasn't even willing to spend $150 to spend an afternoon with a woman like me.
On
that's
a first
some
date?
Right? That's some low vibe.
No, I was gonna say 150 on a first date is kind of wild.
Well, when you get to my level,
first date,
that's nothing. Normal first dates for me are thousands of dollars.
Are you insane?
That's not really what's happening.
Usually,
yeah, and the chick arguing with her is 10 times better looking.
Like,
yeah.
Like, it's just a first date. You're getting to know the person. This isn't like you're my girlfriend. I'm gonna spend thousands of dollars on you.
But here's the thing: when you're an expert psychoanalyst, you don't need that. You know the person instantly. Yeah. So I have that gift. I don't need all this time to get to know a man.
Lord.
I don't need it. I know right away. Almost like what you would think of as a psychic, right into you.
Wow.
Right away. I know exactly what you got going on because I'm such a master at the human psyche. I'm very educated. Again, I'm not
Lord, she's a PhD.
One drunk man is more intelligent than 3 women with PhDs.
Thank you so much.
Do y'all ever look at your check and just be like, I'm so happy that I'm a woman? Because, like, sometimes you're making the same amount as a man and, like, they pay for everything. I mean, like, everything. Just think about it. Like, when you go on a date, first date, like, obviously, if a man doesn't pay, you're not going to give him a second date.
Yeah.
But just imagine if you and this man make the same amount of money and he's expected to pay for, like, first, second, third date and, like, the majority of stuff. Like, of course, we pay for stuff, too, but, like...
No, you don't.
The guys are just expected. Like, if a guy does not pay for the first date, are you gonna go back out with him?
Nope.
No, probably not. Now, imagine your salary... but having to actually spend it on somebody else and still keep up the expensive habits that you have. Like, still keeping up your makeup.
No, not just somebody else, but imagine having to spend your money on yourself because you have the benefit of not only not having to pay for them, they pay for you. So you don't have to pay for anything. Everything for men is doubled while everything for the person they're supporting is free. And a majority of those men get no respect, whether they're in a relationship with you or not, and still got to hear constant complaining about a non-existent wage gap.
I made my last alimony payment this month. It was...
You guys were married for 8 years?
Yeah, so in California...
It's half the time you were married?
Unless it goes to 10 years, and then it's indefinite. It's up to...
Indefinite?
Yep. If we'd been married for 10 years, it would be an indefinite amount of alimony, up to the judge. And that payment was assessed based on my earnings, of course, but also there were no, like, stipulations about her needing to work ever. Right, so like those payments are coming out, and like she just doesn't have to work, and she hasn't worked ever. So
you paid alimony?
Good Lord.
Yeah,
4 years. Yep. Okay.
She didn't work the whole time?
No, not since we even got together.
Yeah. This is why if you're marrying someone who's not working, you're making a bad decision, especially in a place like Cali, because this is what you end up with. And also, what happens if this guy suddenly just isn't making the money he was making when the court figured this whole thing out? I don't know how the courts work, but if he's stuck making that payment, say he's stuck with her for 10 years, and then now he has to continue making that payment into the future when at some point he loses his job or he's not able to make the payments anymore, yet she's not even required to work.
My last relationship, we broke up because he asked me to marry him, but then he asked me to sign a prenuptial agreement, and I said absolutely not. I think that's bogus. I'm not gonna sign a piece of paper that says that if you leave me, I get nothing. Like, no, I think that I should have half of everything that you've worked your entire life for. And I think that's fair.
Sounds pretty typical.
Alrighty, so how much does a guy have to spend on you for the first date?
For me to even consider a date, he would have to pay my rent that month.
Wait, just to take you on a date, he has to pay your rent?
Yeah.
Chicks
and
are
then if
getting
he
out
wants
of
to take
control.
me on a date, it has to be like 5-star.
5-star?
The best in Miami.
So if he sends you, like, let's say, for instance, he sends you a reservation to a 4-star restaurant.
I'm not
then-
going.
Huh?
I'm not going.
So he's going to run off with the rent, and you're not going to respond to him?
Yeah.
And what are you bringing to the table?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm literally coming to the table myself, me.
Oh, you yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
So a guy takes you to a 4-star instead of a 5-star. You're going to skip out and just take the money you pay for the rent. Honestly, you should, because if a guy's dumb enough to do that, then he deserves it.
First date.
An easy 50.
How much do you spend on a first date?
I'd say probably like $50 is a good medium.
Hold up. Who are you going on dates with?
First date.
500. 2,000.
How much should a guy spend on the first date?
2,000.
No, but like, don't do cheap dates. Like low budget, no.
Good Lord, these people are out of their minds.
How much does a guy have to make
How much does a guy have to make to what?
to date you?
To date me? There's not a price limit to date me. As long as you're treating me right, you're acting right, you're chilling. I don't care how much.
What about he's living with his mom?
That doesn't matter. Wait, if he's living
Sounds
with
like we got to keep her in this one.
because the situation that they're in does not have anything to do with me. Why am I gonna judge because you live with your mom? Like, that's a situation that you're in with yourself. Like,
What's your situation? Are you
I
living
have
with
an apartment.
Okay. And let's say he's like, hey, can I move in with you? Are you gonna let him? If he's living with his parents?
If he's paying rent,
How much? 50-50?
50-50.
Really?
It's even. It's a relationship. It's 50-50.
Yeah, this chick has a better mentality than most. Although, if someone's living with their parents, it depends on why they're living there. If they're living there because they're just lazy and have no motivation, then by all means, tell them peace. But if they're living with them while they build themselves up, say they're trying to put away money so they can get a house, or they're making intelligent financial decisions and they're still working hard, in that case, this chick has the right mentality.
So why did you guys get a divorce?
Because I really wanted something different. It's very unfortunate because
Shocking.
he was the most loving, kind person. I had all the love and support that I could have ever wanted. But I think I went through a period wanting money. Like, I wanted to be with someone and be at a different level.
Kind of like climbing up the branches of a tree.
And I saw him work all of the time. It's one thing to like work and work from like 4 a.m. to 10 p.m. at night, day in, day out, and still have no resources. And for me to work, do the same, and just want a different life.
So basically you're telling us he was loving, supportive, working his fingers to the bone, everything that they say they want in a guy, but it still wasn't enough. And according to this person in the comments who apparently watched the full interview, she cheated on the husband, then left. And according to this person who apparently also watched, she cried about the decision. Now she's unhappy and filled with regret. Shocking.
One of the biggest indicators of getting a divorce is how much money you spent on the wedding. Couples who spent more than $20,000 on their wedding were 46% more likely to get a divorce.
Holy.
Couples who spent less than $1,000 on their wedding were 53% less likely to get a divorce.
Yeah, you want to know why that is? Because the woman who demanded the wedding be expensive could never be satisfied. Nothing was ever good enough. So at some point, she decided her husband wasn't good enough and she left him to try to find something better.